I tell you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the FTB Football Sports Show. And I am your host, Travis, the most electrifying man in sports talk entertainment. We've got Trevor here, we've got Carl too, and we're going to be previewing all things Arsenal. So Arsenal versus Leeds, and we're going to see what our predictions are going to be. How do you think we're going to perform? And we're going to say. So should we start with you, Trevor?
Phew. Prediction.
Yeah.
Oh boy. This is a difficult one to call, to be honest, because Leeds have been a huge mixed bag this season. They've come up with some great performances, scored lots of goals, but also as well they've conceded lots of goals as well. Their goal difference is 0, so that means that they're scoring lots and conceding lots. So we're gonna have to be on our game. Defense is gonna have to be on point. To make sure that we're dealing with all their endeavour and their running, the amount of ground that team covers is crazy. So we're gonna have to make sure that we match them on that, and also make sure our quality shines through, really, because on paper, yes, we do have a better 1 to 11, but can we actually win our battles? And that will be the deciding factor, I think. I'm not sure. I'm honestly, I'm on the fence for this one. I really am. I can't. I'm gonna have to kind of have a little more think about a score prediction. But
Fair enough.
yeah.
How about you, Carl? What are you thinking? What are you saying?
I'm on the fence also. I mean, it all depends what kind of team we're going to play. Who's going to play up front? Is he going to give Martinelli a little go out? Is Saka going to play with Pepe? I don't know what positions is he going to play, on the right or the left? I mean, we all know Leeds letting a few goals, but we know they can score a lot of goals. And at the minute, our defence ain't looking too good. So it ain't going to be a goalless draw, put it that way. I'm going to go 3-2 Arsenal, I reckon.
Okay, fair enough. Well, this is the first time we faced Leeds since 2004. Last time we faced them, we beat them 5-0. Henry was on the score sheet. Perez was on the score sheet. But times have changed. And boy, I do not predict a 5-0 score. So we'll see how it goes. But with my predictions, I'm thinking we need something out of this game. So normally when we get to that desperate stage, we always manage to get a result, like Chelsea game where we needed something. We dug out a result. And I think the pressure's on Arteta now, because this is the first time in a long time where, we're kind of, everyone's feeling good about Arteta for a while. But this season, he's up against it, and he needs to be up against it, because 9 wins, 10 losses, 4 draws. Our next 7 games against everyone above the top of the table. So they're all above us. So we're facing Leicester, we're facing Man City, and the rest of the best teams. We've lost our last 2. Okay. We should have picked up games, and Leeds are above us going into this game. So if he does not get a result, the pressure will be on once again. That leads perfectly onto my next question. Is Mikel Arteta under pressure already?
Do you know what? I with the noises that is coming out from Arsenal, I don't think he is. I really don't. I really don't think he is. He should be. From a fan's perspective, I'm expecting a lot more from the players and the squad that we have. I'm expecting a lot more, but I honestly do not think from a board perspective he's under pressure, and that comes, I believe, with the culture of where the club has gone. It's a bit of a cotton wool kind of culture, where everyone's they're trying to protect the inner sanctuary of Arsenal. Now the problem for me is that leads to then the problem of where does the club want to go? They talk a good game, but the proof of the pudding is in the tasting and everything. And now the whole thing with I feel debacle of the whole transfer window on the transfer deadline day, getting Partey, paying his clause. Why not do that at the start? When the window opened in June or wherever it was, pay the actual clause, get him having a great pre-season with us. Then from that, he's never been injured. If you check his history, at Atletico. The dude is hardly ever injured. He comes in, he's late, doesn't have a preseason. All right, he might have had a preseason with Atletico, but how much was his mind really in it? Now the thing is, now I know I'm digressing, but the problem is that this is where the kind of issues that we have with the club and the board and the way that they're going about things. Get your business done early. Throughout the season, right now they should be knowing their transfer targets for the summer. Starting getting the ball rolling, getting the players that they want to get in nice and early. Have a great preseason. Get the players fit, ready to go, kick on. But no, we're so reactive. And that is the culture of the club at the moment, and it's they're basically trying to play catch up all the way through the season. I just think he should be under pressure, but he's not. But this is the club, and it goes higher than from even Edu, I believe.
Absolutely.
For me, Arsenal's never been a club to put managers or coaches under pressure. I mean, when we've seen Unai Emery leave, I mean, that was pretty much fans' voice. Same as Arsene Wenger, the fans forced him out. So where there's no fans in the stadium at the minute, there's no pressure on him, there's no boos, there's no planes flying over with banners, there's nothing like that. So I think they've got a good coach in Mikel, because he can get a lot out of young players and really make like Aubameyang and Lacazette different players when they're in a good form. It's just a shame that some of our big players aren't performing to what we need them to at the recent figures. But at the minute, if we get rid of him, who's going to come in and replace him that's going to do a better job?
Allegri for me. Straight. Boom. Allegri. My man's Allegri straight away. We had a chance to get someone like Ancelotti. I believe is a better manager and pedigree than Arteta. We missed a chance there. Listen, for me, Allegri all day. If he was available and he's willing to come, why not?
See,
I agree. He can do a better job, but I'm on about like funding wise from the club. What the club going to back him more than they're backing Arteta? Is he going to get more fund than Arteta's getting? Is he just going to pick up the loose end Arteta's picked up? I don't see anyone in the position that we're in right now to take us forward.
I understand what you're saying, but with our first 11, should our first 11 be higher than 11th in the league? Should our players be higher than 11th in the Premier League right now? And who does that come down to?
I do agree. Yeah.
So I'll give you a bit of where I am. I believe Arteta's under pressure because he had a grace period when he came over. Okay, he just came in. But when last summer, he and Edu, he got promoted. He's got more oversight of the transfers, of the personnel. And in my opinion, although I like his coaching ideas, his forward thinking, the biggest issue I had is he was reluctant to make changes when he needed to. He stumbled upon this winning formula. It was because of COVID and certain players went out because he stuck with Willian through thick and thin. Like literally, Willian must have something on him because he stuck by him like I've never seen any other manager stick by a player who's underperforming. And who brought Willian to the club on a lucrative contract when he's 32 years old? Don't get me wrong. I thought it was a good idea at the time, but I'm not paid to make those decisions. Yeah. And ultimately, that transfer didn't work out. He let Ozil rot for the last 6 months. And you can't tell me, when we was going through our bad patches, no win in 10 games, you're telling me Ozil couldn't have been on the bench?
Yeah.
You spend £27 million to play. Well, he didn't, but he received Saliba. He did not give that man a chance. Literally just, not feeling you, not part of the squad. He sends Guendouzi off to Germany, where he's been balling, by the way, balling out. And then you've got Lucas Torreira rotting on another bench. So you've not only made suspect decisions when you've shaped the squad in your mold and arguably made it weaker, but you've not got results out of it. And any other club, let's be frank about this, any other club, he would have been gone by Christmas. Gone. Like, boom, gone. But they have a vision with Arteta and they see him long-term. But a few of his decisions so far have been iffy for me. Super duper iffy. Ozil should have been in a squad.
Yeah.
in the squad.
Mm.
And to me, that's inexcusable. And that shows that your pride, or you think you know better than anyone else. You're telling me Ozil could not have contributed anything to it? And for me, he's under pressure now. He's going into these games where he's facing 6 of the top 7. And if he doesn't get half wins with half of those games, then he has to be under pressure again. And I would personally say you have to perform or you get sacked, just like any other top club, if we're still a top club. So that goes nice into my next question. What is a good season for Arsenal? Like from where we are now, at the end of the season, when summer comes, what does a good season look like for us at this point?
Is that in all competitions or just the Prem?
All competitions. What's a good season for us?
We're only in one competition.
We have to win. We have to win the Europa League. That's it. There's no other option. Like we're not going to get top 6. I can't see it. I honestly cannot see us getting top 6. I reckon we'll come 7th or 8th. We're not going. That's it. We have to win the Europa League. We have to go out there and prove that we can do it. That's it. We've got semi-final, final, knocked out. We've got to win it. That's the ultimate game for us. Honestly, I can't see anything else better. If he doesn't get at least to the finals in the Europa League, get rid of him. What's he done that Unai Emery hasn't done? Nothing.
Fair point. I agree with you, Carl, man. I think the problem is he's made a rod for his own back. He's done so bad in the league that we have to now win the Europa League, but we're not going to. That right now is the teams that are in that tournament now. I can't see us. Even Benfica's going to be a problem. This week coming up is a huge week for him. And do you know what? The thing is, I know I'm going back, but he should be under pressure because right now, this is his biggest week in football management, right? Because we lose against Leeds. Where are we going to finish? I think we'll probably then, might start dropping down to like 14th, 15th, right? We lose against Benfica, season's done. What are we playing for?
Mm-hmm.
The season is done. If we lose, the first leg, whatever, a bad score, whatever, on Thursday, it's a problem. The problem is for Arteta right now is that he's made a rod for his own back, and he's made his position, which should be untenable. But the thing is, I can see, you say, Arsenal's not that type of club to go sacking managers and stuff, but I just feel that he'll be given a chance. He'll then go again next season, try and get a good pre-season and see what happens. I don't know. You're on mute.
My bad. Look at some of the questions we've got, and this is a good question. Do you think the recent changing room video regarding Saliba is the reason he gets snubbed by Arteta? I'm going to say I sincerely doubt it because it kind of came out of the woodwork recently. Saliba actually made some comments saying that he got judged on 2 games in pre-season, and he felt that was a bit unfair purely because he hadn't played for 6 months, he wasn't fully fit, and he hadn't got back to his best. I honestly believe that it's down to ability, in my opinion. He probably saw something in training and thought, you know what? I'm not really feeling this, because we've also seen with Arteta, if a player he deems is good enough, he will give them a chance, i.e. Eddie, Willock, Saka. If he feels like you're a baller, he will give you a chance. So Saliba must have had two terrible matches.
So can I jump in there? Right?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I feel that Arteta, right, he's trying to flex his muscles. I think there's a different tack to this, right?
This is interesting. Go for it.
I think Arteta's the type of person right now, because he's new to the game or whatever, and he's trying to cut his teeth or whatever. I think he's the type of manager right now. If you're on board with my vision, my way, you're good. If you're not, then hey, I'm not having you. Now the thing is, I don't doubt Saliba's ability. The dude has been lauded in France, right? And right now, the dude's been player of the month for Nice, for where he's gone, right? So I don't doubt his ability. Attitude, we don't know, because we don't know how he's training. Same thing with Pepe. we know the dude was smashing it in France before he came to us. Everyone was like saying, "Oh my God, we've got Pepe," when he joined, etc. Attitude in training might be the problem. It might be a problem with his training, right? His methods, and he's not fully on board with how Arteta works. And it's the same thing probably with Ozil, and it's the same thing. But see the difference now. Nketiah and Willock probably work their nuts off in training and fully want to buy into exactly what's because come on, should Willock and or Nketiah be anywhere near our first 11? Should they be getting more game time than Saliba? From a strictly technical ability, right? How does there's another argument? Balogun and Nketiah. Why is Balogun not getting any game time? Why is he? Why is Nketiah getting more game time, more minutes? Than Balogun. I don't get it. As I said, I think the problem for me with Arteta is that this is his first management, right? And he's making mistakes and he's cutting his teeth at Arsenal. Arsenal's not a nursery for managers. We should be having managers that are ready and rearing to go and have the ability to take us to the next level. And the problem at the moment and the issue I have is that Arteta is not nowhere near the finished article. He's a great coach. Pep would tell you he's a great coach. He's got great ideas. He's learned so much. And going back, I know Arteta had his great time. When the pandemic first hit and the games came about. Do you remember we had that 20-minute break? After 20 minutes, we have that break, right? We'd start off always slow. We'd have that 20-minute break. He would get them in. He'd boom, 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 telling everybody what's what. Then all of a sudden, we'd be smashing teams. The problem is now is that he doesn't have that break. And he can't get across his the things that he wants to change. He's not getting it right at the start. To me, the thing is that he's not able to get across his ideas, and I don't know whether it's a thing where he's trying to get across his ideas properly. I don't know. But that's my thought.
He's struggling. No, I agree. He's made some really, really good points. And, he's going to have to figure it out because if they do not get any European football, I think that may prompt the board to make a decision on Arteta purely because of monetary reasons. It's about making moolah at the end of the day. And if you're not getting into Europe, the club might look and say, look, you've got the lowest winning percentage of our managers the last 20 years. You've not given us European football. You spent money, you spent big. So you haven't got anything to show for it. You might be talented, but this might not be the right time for you. And like you guys said, he may get the next job at wherever it may be, and he might excel. And he's one of those managers where if he got as lucky as Pep, because Pep was dropped into greatness, Barcelona team, Bayern Munich team, Man City, unlimited funds. If he was dropped into a team that was as talented as that, he could be a revelation, but he dropped to one of the cheapest owners in the history of sports franchises, and his LA Rams and all his other franchises in the US. The guy is cheaper than cheap. So,
dude, they've got the Rams have got a decent stadium right now. So
fantastic.
I think right now Arsenal's funding Rams. That's what I believe.
They used him as leverage for loans and stuff. So it's all about business for him, and he's never ever gonna be the sugar daddy we all had hoped, really. Because I remember when he first bought the club. In my mind, this is how I saw it. Ooh, we're on the money train now, baby. We're going to the good times because we've seen Abramovich just come in and just splash the cash. And unlucky for us, we just didn't get that, And I wish he did sell to Red. Was it Red and Black to the Russian owners because he was looking to spend some serious money.
Usmanov, yeah. And the thing is, I think Usmanov was in with David Dean, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think it's Redmond Holdings or something like that. Hey.
Last question before we wrap this up, guys. Should we be concerned with Partey and Tierney's injury record? Especially Tierney, before he came to Arsenal, he had a few shoulder problems and various problems at Celtic that kept him out. And Partey, like you mentioned before, who's pretty much the last 4 years has never been injured, comes to us and blam, like he seems to be, not injury prone might be the wrong word, but he hasn't. The best ability for me is availability. So when players don't play, that really, it's not their fault, but it kind of irks me a little bit. Carl, what do you think?
For me, I think Arsenal has always been one of these clubs that we always have 6 or 7 people injured every single season. I remember us under Arsene Wenger, like, at some point we had like 10 players injured. Like, no one was playing football. It was ridiculous. We had players that we didn't even heard. Like, we were getting Coquelin back from on loans because we needed someone to play in the park. We were like, what is going on? And like we mentioned it earlier, Partey's never been injured in his career. He's come to Arsenal. He's played 3 or 4 games. What is that? We've changed our backroom staff. We've changed our medics. We've changed our physiotherapists. We've changed everything. But there's still this curse at Arsenal where you're going to come, you're going to play, but you'll play half a season because you're going to end up on the side bench with the rest of the injury crew. You might as well be called Crutch FC. Ridiculous. Jack Wilshere, what a talent he had. Diaby, what a talent he had. Look at all these players we've had, man, that are just sat on the bench for no reason. It's ridiculous.
Rosicky, flipping heck. Yeah.
What an absolute genius.
Got some players.
Yeah. Do you know what really irks me, right? What really irks me, okay, is like, fair enough, okay, players get injured, right? But one thing that doesn't change, right, is the official website or what the sounds that have come out of the club, right? You hear, right? What was the first thing that came out with a Partey's injury? He'll be ready for the next game. All of a sudden, and the same thing with Turney. It's just he's just being rested. It's just a muscle injury, a slight, precaution or whatever. He'll be back within 2 weeks. They always do that. They always say it will be, it's like a 2-week injury and he'll be back. Then all of a sudden, 6 weeks later, the player's still on the sidelines and there's no view of him coming back. It's the same thing with Partey. I heard sound bites coming from Arsenal that he'll be back. Both of them will be back playing today against Leeds, and all of a sudden, we have no idea when he's coming back either. And that's the thing that just be real. Just say, look, you know what? He's going to be out for 6 weeks. The whole rehabilitation process takes X amount of time, whatever, and we want to, make sure that he comes back. The problem with me, I think, with Partey is that he was brought back too quick. He was brought back for the Tottenham game, broke down. And because obviously was doing crap, and then again he's brought him back in. Look, don't get me wrong, Partey's absolute quality. And Tierney, for huge losses for our team. But just be real. Just tell us fans. I think we deserve that. Just say, do you know what? They're going to be out for this amount of time, and it's not going to be any sooner than But don't come give us hope. Say, yeah, they'll be ready for the next game and stuff, and then. Actually, no, we don't know when he's coming back, and no, he's not ready. That's the thing that irks me.
Me too. I always thought it was an element of gamemanship when the manager just doesn't want to know the opposition manager who might or might not be playing, so they can scheme and defend against them. But I think is the Arsenal medical staff don't know. They generally don't know, so they're probably thinking, "Whoa, I don't want to make a promise," and then he doesn't play, and then everyone's just going to be after me, kind of thing. So yeah, I just hope they get back to it because they're such huge players for us. And I still think with a fully fit team and without the lack of discipline, because we kind of glossed over it here, but that's again down to Arteta. The discipline's gone out the window. 5 red cards, 3 yellows. Everyone in the top 6 have 0 red card, 0. That's a huge part of it. And that comes down to the manager. He should tell them, anyone gets sent off, you're done. Like, no. You can't cost it because you're costing us the game. You're costing us money. You're costing us places in the league. So you need to do better than that. It's happened 5 times. That isn't good enough. Yeah. And, you can't blame him because he's not on the pitch, but you're responsible for that. Like any kind of business, when it goes wrong, you have to point to the one at the top and say, look, you fucked up. Excuse my language. On that note, let's end that here. Thank you very much for joining us, Trevor. Carl, thank you very much, guys. That was a good show. And let's hope we win tomorrow because it can get ugly on after. So come on, up the Gunners. Let's go. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Cheers.